Hi, I'm Kerry and I am with Maggie Fisher. She is our channel mum, health visitor and sleep expert. Today we are talking about the controversial subject of sleep training. If sleep training is not for you, then don't worry. We've got loads of videos on sleep. We've also got a great section on co-sleeping. As we know, sleep training can seriously divide public opinion. So Maggie is here with us today to tell us what health visitors think when it comes to sleep training.
The sleep training methods we're going to discuss today are based on the evidence of what works and what is effective. If you are having a problem with sleep, what I would suggest is that you come over to the Channel Mum support group and talk to us, because it's important we base advice on accurate information. So we're just going to be talking today in more general terms.
So for those of us who do want to go down the sleep training route, are there things that we need to consider before we start?
Things to think about are obviously the different sleep training method you're using and the age of the baby. Checking that the baby is fit and well and there's no other cause for the waking at night. It's also important that parents choose the sleep training method that they feel most comfortable with.
Would you say there's an ideal age for people to start sleep training with their children?
Generally, we don't sleep train before 6 months, but there is one method you can use, which is the pick up, put down between 4 and 6 months.
Right, so we've got to this point, we're going to do the sleep training. What are the different kinds of sleep training we can do with our children?
The first one, which you can use from 4 months onwards, which we've already talked about earlier, is the pick up, put down. And that essentially involves every time the baby cries, you pick the baby up and then you put them down again. And you keep doing that for as long as it takes, and it can take hundreds of pickups before they settle and soothe. But it's very gentle. So the next one is called different things. It's called Gradual Retreat, Disappearing Chair, or Gradual Withdrawal. And that is quite a gentle one. It works quite well with children who have separation anxiety. The stage is you hold them further away from you while they're going to sleep. And then once they've got used to that, you then settle them in their cots.
Okay.
You give them 3 or 4 days to get used to that, and then you settle them with just a hand on them. You then basically raise your hand above their back, so it's hovering above their back, but you're not actually touching, and you give them 3 or 4 days till that works. And then you stand beside or sit beside the cot while they go to sleep and give them time to get used to that. And then you start gently edging your chair or your cushion away from the cot. And once you're at the door, you can stand in the door so they can see you while they're going to sleep, and then you can pop away for a few seconds and then pop back and keep doing that, and then gradually stretch the time before you pop back. The next one is the kissing game, which is related to the gradual retreat really. And again, this is a nice one for babies who've got separation anxiety. Basically, you put the baby down and you kiss them. You go as if to move away and then you kiss them again. And you just keep doing that and gradually just moving a bit further away until you can sort of be a few paces from the cot, and then you pop back, and you just keep doing it till you're at the door and you pop back.
I've never heard of that before. Why would that work?
Well, I guess, if you're thinking about it, it's a way of reinforcing the child's sense of security. The other one is control crying, control checking. Now, this is not for everybody, and you only do this if you feel comfortable with it. And the evidence for it is that it is not harmful. Parents worry that it's going to cause brain damage because when the baby cries, the cortisol levels rise. The evidence is that actually this is positive or tolerable stress, and when it's buffered by supportive, responsive relationships and the parent and baby are well attuned, it doesn't cause any harm. And what happens is you put the baby down to sleep in their cot, and you then leave them. If they cry, you just walk out of the room. You then go back and check them. For some parents it might be 3 minutes or 5 minutes. So whatever you can do, you go back and you check them. And when you come back and check them, you're just coming back as a reassuring presence. You're not talking to them or interacting with them or cuddling them or doing anything. They see your face, so they know that they know they've not been abandoned, so their sense of security is reinforced. And you're just checking that they're all right, they've not got their feet through the bars of the cot, and then you walk out and leave them. And then you go back and you check them again after 5 minutes, and you gradually increase the times before you go back and check them. Don't leave them for longer than 15 minutes. Now, it is really, really tough to do. I would suggest if you're doing that, you don't stand outside the door listening to them cry, that you go off and do something else. You might notice peaks and troughs of crying, but often they listen to see if you're coming back. If you find that a baby is terribly distressed and they've got real tears and they're sobbing their heart out, then actually you can pick them up, just hold them without eye contact till they calm down and then put them down.
I know what you're saying is textbook, but I don't know, do you think everyone does that, or do you think people kind of tweak it to fit them?
People do tweak it, and you've got to go with your gut instinct, what feels right for you. And if you are finding it unbearably difficult to do, then perhaps it's not the right method for you and you need to choose a different method. If it hasn't worked within 2 weeks and there is no improvement in their sleep pattern, then I would suggest it's not going to work and to try something else. The next one is wake to sleep. Sometimes it's called scheduled waking, and this is really useful if you've got a baby who wakes as regular as clockwork during the night. The idea is you wake them half an hour before they would normally wake, so you need to keep a sleep diary to see what time they wake up. When you wake them up, you just gently rouse them, don't jolt them into full wakefulness, and you do that for 2 weeks and then you stop doing it, and the idea is it disrupts their sleep pattern and stops them waking up. And that scheduled waking is something that you use for babies, well, for older children who've got night terrors or confusional arousals.
Thanks Maggie, that was really helpful. I hope you guys found that helpful too, and don't forget that Channel Mum is a completely judgment-free zone. Head on over to our support group and you can chat to Maggie and our trained parent helpers about absolutely anything. Whether you want to sleep train, co-sleep, there is somebody there who can help you and support you through your journey. Right, so that's it from us today. Thank you so much for watching and we'll see you next time. Bye.